this wonderful episode. Thanks for being here. We're very excited. Are you excited about today?
Yeah, it's just another whiskey podcast, isn't it?
Just the whiskey podcast? No, not
just. That's what I. Well, no, that's what I typed in. It was just another whiskey podcast because basically, it's two whiskey people who got together to create a podcast, and every chance we get to put another whiskey on, it's cool.
That's right. And because this is March, we had to continue. Where's my phone? We had to continue a little bit on the Irish side of things. And so there was a couple things. Let me, I got to get a picture here because this is like a pretty.
I don't want to take pictures. Mine looks ugly, man. I don't want to take pictures of this.
Oh, look at that. Keep it up.
No, that's just the corned beef and cabbage. Now I got just a canned corned beef.
Okay.
And this is the corned beef and hash. Canned. All right. Now I doctored it a little bit, right? And of course, as always, I've got salt and pepper here in the office if I need it.
Right.
All right. But I tasted them and I thought, as I was cooking them, I didn't think they needed much altering. Right. I literally took them out of the can rather than microwaving. I put them in frying pans. I put them on the stovetop for about 10 minutes. Yeah. And they actually come out pretty nice.
So what I did was that there was leftover corned beef from when Sean made corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah.
And so I used that, and I said, "Well, I'm taking the leftovers. I froze."
I gotta see yours. Yours has got to look a million times better than mine.
I don't know. This is my corned beef hash.
Oh. I'm sorry. That looks like a recipe. Mine looks like it's crap. Dog food to come out of a can. Come on.
I used the small potatoes.
Yeah.
And I used the white ones, and I think I might have thrown in some red ones in there, but I cooked the potatoes. Then I chopped up the corned beef, and I added lots of butter, onions. Then I threw in the corned beef and the potatoes, and then smashed them up. And that was a chore to do that. And then you're supposed to wait. It's supposed to sizzle, and then you flip it over and get that little bit of a caramely goodness, and then you flip it over. And so this is the corned beef hash. The other thing that I did, because I wasn't going to try to make corned beef and cabbage again, that's why I did make the Guinness stout beef stew.
Oh yeah.
So it's beef stew with the chuck, again, the small potatoes, onions, carrots, celery, mushrooms. And to deglaze it, I used a can of the Guinness.
Okay, yeah.
Then I cooked it for hours and hours and hours. It should be really good. It was yummy yesterday when I covered it up and let it cool down. And then, of course, what are we going to pair this deliciousness with, what would be Irish food that other than an Irish whiskey, right? Well, what Irish whiskey did we choose?
We both found this at our local stores, so this is probably available in distribution on a bigger basis, right? Yes.
So how I came across Teeling, I will tell you, it was because we were trying to figure out what whiskey what Irish whiskey we were gonna feature. Had ran the 15K for Shamrock earlier in the month. Well, the day before was the expo and packet pickup. So as I was walking through, I see there's tasting over there. I have got to go check them out. Who is Teeling? And turns out there's history between Oregon and Irish whiskeys, but I'll tell that story in a second. So I'm like, ooh, tell me more. I'm asking all the questions. And I got to taste this single grain. There is another batch that they had, but I really like the single grain. And I went, ooh, this is actually pretty good. I think we need to bring this on the podcast. And I did ask Jeremy, who works for Bacardi, that was there representing. And I said, can we get this in Texas? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So it was, hey, Tim, can you try to find this whiskey? And he looked for it and he found it. And we're pretty excited to have. And it is still I've not opened it since that tasting. I still,
I went by and picked it up today from my Goody Goody store. So
thank you, Goody Goody.
Yeah.
And there is like so much history. One thing that I will have to say is that their 30-year-old whiskey, because all scotches are whiskeys, but not all whiskeys are scotches.
Yeah.
But the 30-year-old single malt whiskey won gold at the International Wine and Spirits Competition. So they just got that, like either yesterday or today. It was like within these days, time difference. But they got 97 points. And they've gotten other best Irish whiskey malts and double gold medals at international awards. But to get gold, that was awesome. It was a 30-year-old, which I will have to try one of these days.
Yeah.
But this is like just so cool to find these little gems. And
Yeah. So
there's this particular one is matured in American Cab Sauvignon casks. So that gives it that smooth whiskey and just bursting fresh fruit notes and berries and grapes, which I love wine. So I thought, oh, this is going to be super good. And actually, it does say matured Cabernet Sauvignon wine cask right at the bottom here. It is 46% alcohol by volume. And this is a non-chill. So this is not a whiskey that you need to chill. And I didn't grab another glass, but I did bring with me, and by bring with me, I mean I have here all the stuff. There are a lot of different recipes that you can do, including, which I'm not going to try to even make, a small batch salted caramel syrup for your pancakes.
Yeah, we'll have to do that in another episode. That sounds too good.
Yeah. So I was not about to try because it was not going to go with the food, but you can have this with some honey, some cream, some salted butter, some salt. It is super easy to make a small
It doesn't
batch.
look super easy to get into the container.
I'm trying to get.
I should have looked at that because I always have to be prepared when I go to open something on air.
Yes, and I didn't do that.
I found the tab finally.
But now that I have the bottle open, I'm going to have to take another picture with just the bottle and not just the outside to get us in there. So there is history here. So Teeling, even though you might think they're newer, they are, but where it started was way back 1782 is when, that's how far back Teeling had started their whiskey making. And then at some point they stopped, but they were in the industrial heart of Dublin City. Then it was in 2012 that Jack and Stephen Teeling, that is the latest generation of the Teeling family. They're the ones that put their own mark in the Irish whiskey. And it came full circle because where they are at is like a stone's throw from where their ancestors originally had their whiskey making distillery, which I thought was so cool that it's like going, yep, you're in the same, you go, it's like being home. So I thought that was pretty cool. But one of the things that it's all about the care and attention that they're going into their whiskeys. And this is the first distillery in 125 years that opened. So even though they're new, they're not new to the industry. They're not new to whiskey. They are all about, what's the body, what's the character, what's the richness, what are we bringing to the whiskey, and making sure that everything that they're doing is all about bringing some modernness, if you will, to whiskeys. And so it's about choice. It's about Irish. It's about influence. It's about bringing their history back in. So the way that one of the things that caught my eye about Teeling when I saw it, it has roots in Oregon. And you know me, and I always want to bring anything that's Oregon related. If I can bring it forward, I will. But the master distiller, Alex Chasko, he's originally from Portland, Oregon. And the reason he found his way to Ireland is yes, he loves Irish whiskey, but on top of that, it was his Irish-born wife is that what moved him to Ireland. And he was working with Cooley Distillery. And the Teeley brothers, they were part of Cooley Distillery. And when they sold in 2011, then they said, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. Alex went with them. There was this energy, this combination that they just belonged together. Mm-hmm. And so Alex became their master distiller. And so he's bringing these Oregon roots to Ireland. And so now Ireland is here. And it took them a moment before, it wasn't until 2015 that they really got it out, and they started bringing the whiskey over the last few years to Oregon. But one of their first World Whiskey Awards for Best Single Malt Whiskey was their 24-year-old, and that was some earlier years back. So it's become, just this connection between Oregon and Dublin, Ireland, and all because of the love of Irish whiskey and wife. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that's where a little bit of the history, which I thought was so awesome. And make sure you follow them on Facebook, because there is a sweepstakes entry to meet the distillers. So you can win a trip to Dublin, Ireland to meet the distillers and get to tour. Oh my goodness, that would be awesome. So that's a little bit of history that comes along with it. And there's a lot more in the details, but this is the high level that I wanted to share. A little bit of ancient history, a little bit of modern history, and a little bit of Oregon all in there. So that's my my long-winded explanation why we have tilling. And
oops, wait a minute. I want to fix that. There's the Facebook link.
Thank you for adding that.
I found that real quick.
Yeah. Well, mine was easy enough to open. I don't know what you were struggling over. Oh my goodness, that smell is.
I know the smell is awesome. I couldn't find the peel for the cord to get the ring around the cord to help the ceiling.
I think that it was probably behind the little, you know how it comes down? This part comes down. It was probably hiding behind there.
Hiding behind that.
Yeah. So I want to definitely taste it like this, even though it calls for non-chill. I always like to add a little bit of chill to mine, but I will definitely taste it. But one of the other things is the Irish Maid, which I said, you know what? I don't know that I have Saint Germain. Oh, I think I do. I have to look for it. But we're going to start by just tasting it by itself, and then pairing it with this delicious food that we have here. Oh my goodness, just the smell of the tealing. There's definitely and I think it might be because they're in the cab cask.
No.
Mm.
It reminds me, I had a whiskey that Craig got me.
Okay.
Was a Canadian whiskey. And same concept. I think they did it in the barrels of Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
Wayne Gretzky's. It was Wayne Gretzky's whiskey.
Okay.
Have you had Wayne Gretzky's whiskey?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I've not tried it yet because
So in 2020, the first time I stopped to see Craig at his house, and we're talking whiskeys. This is before the pandemic, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I got this whiskey you got to try if you're into whiskeys," because he didn't drink much then. So he pulls it out, and it's Wayne Gretzky's, and it's because his niece is dating Wayne Gretzky's son or something like that.
Oh, got it.
So he pull it out and taste it. I'm like, "Oh, this is really good." Well, then I get back home and I try to search and I can't find it. So I said, "Hey man, you got to find me some." And towards the end of 2020, they're moving here. And I'm like, well, while I'm out there, since I'm driving your car back, go to the store and pick me up some of that Wayne Gretzky, and I'll bring back. And they didn't. They just gave me the bottle they had. But anyway.
Nice. Mm.
Pairs with both of these, you know what I mean? Because I've got like a red beet or the cabbage, just cabbage and meat, and then I have the hash.
Right, and I almost heated up some or sauteed some cabbage just to have it with it. So corned beef hash traditionally is served with an egg, and I actually almost brought an egg, but I thought, oh, that's going to be way too much work.
Yeah.
But it's usually a poached egg that would go perfectly with this.
Yes, I would say that would probably make this better.
Mm. And plenty of pepper.
Well, the drink has pepper to it. I don't have pepper in mine. I didn't add a lot of pepper to my hash.
Oh my goodness, this pairs very well. It is fruity. It's got a very bold taste. Um, it's not your subtle. Because some whiskeys can be very um, pale, if you will. If that's this one has some good body in it, um, and some good characters. That caramel color. I mean, that's one gorgeous color in there. So you have that beautiful caramel color. Yeah, I can see yours even better. So you have that color. The smell of it almost. Oh, yeah, it's that caramely smell to it, but not sweet. It's not a sweetness that I'm tasting in there or that I'm smelling. It just has a really good flavor, but it's got a little bit of a kick. And when you pair it with the corned beef and hash, or you pair it with the stew, it just the flavors just go. Here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am. So I really like that. That's very yummy. Oh my goodness. Mm. But this corned beef hash is actually pretty darn good. But definitely the poached egg would just
Poached
put it.
egg would make it really a spot. But here's my next test: is I'm gonna add some ice to that.
Mhm.
Candy ice on here. Let's see what this is like chilled, because some it could make it better, could make it worse. I don't know. We're gonna find out here. Some stuff it tastes good chilled, and some doesn't.
Right.
Nah, waters it down. Ice waters it down. I would like it neat.
So I do have my big cube. You know me and my big cube.
Yeah, try it with your big cube and see. But it seems that the smaller cubes, it seems to water it real quick.
This one would have been perfect. I forgot to tell you. Did I tell you that I bought the little doohickey to make my clear ice?
Yeah.
It's at home. I didn't bring it in. This one would have been perfect because that would have helped have a clear ice in there would have been perfect in my opinion. Having that clear ice just makes a difference. Okay. It definitely tones it down. So if you think it's too peppery, add a big cube. Don't add a bunch of ice in it because ice is just going to water down your drink.
Ice will water it down, but just adding the ice to it seemed to diminish the bite. I said I would rather do it neat.
Yeah, with the big cube, it doesn't really water it down. It does cool it down, but definitely neat. It was perfectly fine. I'm happy with that. Now, mind y'all, Irish whiskey is not my first go-to.
No.
I'm all about my single malt scotches, my American whiskeys, and by American I mean Kentucky. Sorry, Tennessee.
Yeah, like my Kentucky bourbons and stuff. I'm all a bourbon whiskey.
Yeah, but this is actually very nice. I really like it. I love the flavor of it, most definitely. And I haven't tasted it with this one just yet, but. Okay, not too bad, but definitely neat. Tastes better. Yeah, this stew is very rich.
Yeah.
So,
corned beef. Your corned beef goes really, really well with this whiskey.
Yes, I think I like it a little bit. Although this is really good stew. I had that other bottle of the Guinness Stout, so I'm like, I got to try it, and I had all the ingredients. For the most part, I just had to go get the chuck and cut it up. Yeah. And even though it said 1 to 2 inches, like no, I went small. I went like half an inch so that it would cook a lot quicker. Because this is one that does take 3 hours total to make. It's 2 hours of cooking, then you uncover it, and then you let it cook again. So it doesn't take long. It's like prep time is like half an hour. Yeah. There's carrots, celery, mushrooms, potatoes, onions, bacon. It starts with bacon. So what I did is
the bacon grease into it was what made this. But
yeah. So the bacon, and it just tasted really yummy. And then I left a little bit, not all the bacon grease in there. It wasn't a very greasy bacon to begin with. It was high quality, and so not a whole lot of fat. But then I threw in the beef in there, seasoned it, and it was like, oh my goodness. Put in the celery, the mushrooms, the carrots, and then once those were cooked, then I added the flour to try to thicken it. And then I added once that was cooked for a few minutes, that's when I added the beer to deglaze the pan.
Wow.
And then beef broth, of course, to cook it.
I almost was going to take this. Now I bought canned. Corned beef is just not something we have here. And like in prep time today to do it. Mm-hmm. But I thought about getting a piece of corned beef or even from the deli corned beef and cooking it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also, though, I always have these hash browns or tater tots in my refrigerator. I thought about taking the hash brown and putting it in the pan, but I didn't. I mean, just time-wise, if I would have put the hash brown and cooked the hash over the hash brown.
That would have been yummy. Oh. Well, I will tell you that I did see a recipe by the Pioneer woman that she made a shepherd's pie and put tater tots on top. And that was like, oh, that's different. This is pretty yummy. Might have to take another picture of this.
I am shocked. Well, again, I bought canned stuff to make this tonight. Gwen bought canned stuff for me because
the thing is that, the reason I made the hash was because in order to make the corned beef and cabbage, that was going to take a lot of time. And
it is a lot of time. That's why I did.
You know what? I don't know that I can do this. I said, so that's why I went with the hash.
Wow.
Because that was going to take less time. And I knew that I was going to spend the time on the, this one was going to take long, but I wasn't going to have to actively be taking care of it. But I knew that I had everything. Whereas, am I going to go buy another piece of corned beef when I knew I had it? So that's why I went this route. And of course, I needed to use the other bottle of or can of the Guinness.
Yeah.
I did leave like this much just to say, I'm going to taste it. Because I did half the recipe. I didn't do the full recipe. But look at those. I mean, the richness in this. One of the other things that
I'm going to do a pour, and I'm going to move back to doing meat.
Oh, nice.
The ice just melts it too fast. It just melts it too fast, and it takes the flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I have Saint Germain in here because I don't remember if I kept it here, if I took it home, and it looks like I took it home. So I won't be able to make that Irish maid. That's okay, because I had everything else, and I thought, because I did bring my cucumber to the office, and that's why I didn't think about it. Once I saw the cucumber, I said, I can make it, but I don't have the Saint Germain here. But no, this is like super yummy. The Saint Germain is what is going to make it. If I just try to do that, it's not going to be an Irish maid. It's going to be an Irish messed up, That's what gives it the flavor. But yes, I'm going to be removing my ice from here and adding just the whiskey. This is
I'm sorry. This is a neat whiskey.
Yeah.
All right. To the makers of Teeling. All right. This is a neat whiskey. Mm-hmm. This is not, you need to advise your drinkers not to do this over ice. It waters down the taste.
Non-chill filtering, but it also means you can drink it neat with.
Yeah.
It just has such a nice punch to it. That's the beauty of it. If you don't want that little bit of a punch, then add a couple of ice cubes or add a large ice cube. But other than that, just drink it neat. If you like neat, go with neat.
Well, here's what I was going to ask is how many times have you taken your whiskey or your bourbons and just put a little ginger ale into it?
Oh, I haven't done that.
Right? Yeah. But I'm curious. I probably can go over the refrigerator. I got ginger ale in refrigerators. But, I mean, I'm wondering because I don't think this would go well with ginger ale. I think this is a whiskey you drink neat. I don't know. You know, we and I have done a few Irish drinks, but I'm not a big Irish drink person. That's why I like whiskeys and bourbons neat. All right. There are a few bourbons that I would like over a cube, but not many.
Right. So one that is supposed to go very well, and I was going to try to make it, and I maybe when I get home I will make it, is an Irish maid. So what that is 2 parts of your killing single grain. So it's the single grain they're using on it. 3/4 parts of fresh lemon juice, which I have here. Yes, you can use fresh lemon juice. We've had the discussion, the price of lemons. So fresh lemon juice.
Yes, but on this podcast, we seem to always have lemon juice handy.
Yes, always have to have it handy. You never know when you're going to need it. 3/4 parts of simple syrup. And of course, you got the simple syrup.
Yep.
And Saint Germain, which I thought I had here. Apparently, I don't. It's at home. So half part of Saint Germain's, and then 2 cucumber slices, which of course I got the cucumber here.
Yeah.
Muddle the cucumber.
Yeah.
And then you add the other ingredients. You add some ice. You shake it up, and then you strain it into your glass. And then, of course, you want to garnish it with your cucumber slices because you want to make sure that it looks really pretty.
Yeah.
So that's Irish made. Very simple, in my opinion. You can get Saint Germain. That what I have is a small bottle, so just get a small bottle of Saint Germain, and then that's going to be enough to make plenty of these.
Do you remember when you talk about cucumber? All right, and a drink. Do you remember the name of the drink that Woody had the recipe for on Cheers? Do you remember that episode of Cheers? First of all, this is a drinking podcast. We have to have Cheers memorabilia.
I know. I need to go back. I love watching Cheers, and I saw a lot of episodes of Cheers and reruns. Yeah, we're aging ourselves. Sorry, y'all. But no, I don't remember that episode.
So I can't remember the name of the drink, but it was right after, right after the character Rebecca Howe was introduced.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in that season that Sam comes back to the bar after being away, and they hire him, but then they realize they have 2 bartenders, and the other bartenders, they need to get rid of one. So they want to get rid of Woody because he's like the inexperienced guy, and this other guy's this very seasoned bartender. So he's like, I can make any drink. And if anybody ever comes in to ask for a drink that I can't make, I will gladly resign.
Okay.
So Norm comes in, and well, this is an average bar. I'll check this one out because apparently he hadn't been there in a while, right? And he goes in and he sits down and he asks for this drink, and the guy and this fancy bartender goes, there's no such drink as that. Yes, there is. And then another person comes up and asks for the drink.
Oh, nice.
And another person. So this other bartender is like demanding it is not a drink. There is no such drink called that. And Woody comes up with a cucumber and goes, so would you like the cucumber bruised? And he goes, yes. So he taps it on the bar and goes over and makes the drink. He makes the drink, all right, and passes it out to everybody in the bar. In the meantime, the fancy hooty-tooty bartender quits and walks out, all right, and everybody takes a sip of the drink.
And spits it out.
And spits it out because it's horrible tasting.
So in other words, when you're at home, don't do that.
Yeah. In other words, don't let Woody make your bar.
I will tell you, I was at this one bar a few weeks ago. And I said, and there was this drink on the menu. And I'm like, is it good? He's all, I think that's what I asked, if it was good or how it compared. I forgot exactly what I asked. And he says, well, it's good. And I said, and I kind of, yes, like I just tilted my head. That's exactly what I did. I tilted my head and I said, you don't know? You've not tried it? And he goes, no. I said, how have you not tried it? I want my bartender to know exactly what my drink tastes like. If you're making my drink, I want you to understand the nuances and why you've done what you've done. And he says, we're not allowed. And I said, so you've not even made it at home? And he said, no. And I said, I will have such and such meat, please. Because right at that moment, I did not trust my bartender.
No.
Because if he does not know how good the drink is, he said that he knew because of the smiles on the patrons' faces. Well, that's lovely that your patrons are smiling, but if you don't know what it tastes like, if I've made a drink, I have a little straw, I taste it. Is this good enough? Because my name is on it, it's going to go out. Mind you, if I have to taste it again, I get another straw. I'm not using the same straw.
No.
But it's the you always taste your drinks. I don't know how many times I've seen bartenders taste my drink before they pass it on to me.
Yeah.
They're not getting drunk. They're just making sure.
They're making sure the taste and quality.
Yeah.
Well, I worked 5 years as a barista.
Mm-hmm.
We were required to, when a new drink came out, we were required to taste it. And one of the ones that they had us taste was when they came out with Starbucks came out with a set of smoothies that involved bananas. This is where I found out that I was allergic to bananas.
Oh, did you end up going out in an ER? Did they have an epidemic?
No, and it's not an allergic reaction. It's a medical reaction to it. Okay. I got super high. Like really, I'm talking like really good marijuana high. And I had to work a shift.
But I will take your word for it. You're like,
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yes, I've done that. Okay, yeah. But anyway,
so
I don't do that now, but I've done it. All right. I worked an entire shift that way.
You can go spend 69 cents on one banana versus what does it cost?
But I am on a medication for epilepsy that causes that.
Oh,
it's a reaction to the medication, not me.
Okay.
So,
yeah, blame it on something else.
Yeah. In the meantime, I worked my entire shift, and I had a friend of mine come up because I rode motorcycle back then. I didn't have a car. I'm like, I'm gonna have my friend come up, and she came up, and I made her follow me home. All right, because I felt all right to get on the bike and ride, but if not, I was gonna let her. She was gonna ride my bike home, and I was gonna drive her car home. All right, because being on the bike and out there scared me.
Yeah, for good reason.
But anyway, that's where I learned tasting drinks because I taste everything. And I'm going to tell you, the chocolate smoothie that Starbucks had, I loved it. I had to go in, and I remember going in and saying, like, little by little, over the years when they had it, I put pieces of banana in to try to build my tolerance up.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't affect me. So I was up to just about half a banana when they stopped doing them. Right. But I mean, yeah, I worked my tolerance up so I can because the drink by itself without a banana took some of the taste away. But I learned to taste the drink even though it took me for a lid. I learned to taste it so I can explain it to customers.
This is what it tastes like. Yeah, because where was I that I said, well, I want to try this, but what do you suggest, this one or this one?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Surprise me. And I'm okay with that because I'm willing to try new things. So can you do like the banana flavors? Like if you get what is it?
Oh, there's flavorings I can do of it, but it's a real banana, the potassium and stuff in a real banana. So when I need potassium, I've got to do like avocados. I can't do bananas.
Okay. So if you were to make that smoothie now, could you add the banana flavoring? Would that be as good or?
No, it won't be as good. I was drinking that because of the wholesome pieces that are into it. It was just like about 3 hours for our podcast today. I made my juicer with carrots and ginger and stuff. I'm about whole foods that I put into my body, I know. Yeah, not substitutes.
Right. And I was asking because if you can't have it, then can you substitute?
It's just like everybody's talking about, like for the last couple of years, the biggest hype has been the Beyond Burgers and to me, I'm like, I don't need a chemical to substitute something. Mm-hmm. All right. If I don't want meat, I am going to find a food in nature, not a food that I manufacture, but a food in nature to bypass the meat. And
so with those Beyond Burgers, when I look at the ingredients and I look at the calorie count,
Yeah.
if the calories are the same in beef as it is in plant-based,
Yeah.
what? I'm going to go with beef because
It's a wholesome food. It comes from a whole product.
Yeah, I don't have to chemically put in calories into my body. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I've tasted hot dogs that are Beyond. I've tasted the Beyond burgers, and the flavor isn't there. So, for example,
I'm not doubting the flavor. I am doubting the concept.
Well, I'm doing both because I know what it tastes like, what it should taste like, and what it does taste like. So, I have tasted non-alcoholic whiskey and non-alcoholic gin. The non-alcoholic gin, thumbs up. Monday, you did a great job. I just bought 3 different non-alcoholic drinks for one of my friends because she doesn't drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you can do all these things and it will taste good. And I believe it because of the way that they've explained it and the ingredients. I'm like, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
But because I am a whiskey snob,
yes,
when I tasted Monday's whiskey, it just was like, no. Maybe in a mixed drink, maybe. But I would rather have a good whiskey, thank you, Teeling, over a non-alcoholic whiskey. But
yeah.
I will do the non-alcoholic gin all day long because the taste of it is yummy. For me, it tastes good. It's more citrus forward versus.
Well, remember when we did our non-alcoholic drinks in February? You talked about that. You brought the gin on, so.
Right, and I really enjoyed it. And just a reminder, we have gin and we have whiskey that are in barrels that will have our label. So if you want a bottle, let us know. We will put you on the mailing list.
Here's the deal, all right? You have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel. All right. The people who are subscribed to our YouTube channel will get the information on how they can get some. First.
Whiskey will not be ready until August, September. Gin will not be ready until December, January.
No. Let's make it this way. All right. So if you like our show, you have to like our show on Facebook, like our subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. We don't have the email list up, but the email list. We are going to make it that we are only going to make it available to those people. That, to me, I would rather hold on to it because it's a great with age product and make people subscribe to our list to get it.
Right. Because those of you that are here, we know you. You've been following us.
Yeah.
You've been downloading us. You love us. You send us loves. Whether it's during the show or you download our podcast, you're giving us the love. You know what? You're going to be the first ones.
Yeah.
And these bottles, I will tell you, they are amazing. I have a picture with them. I have a picture with the babies. I was like, these are them. I'll have to post it.
Wait a minute. Do we have an Instagram channel?
I don't think we do. We need to get
an Instagram. Because wait a minute, I got Instagram for everything. I don't have an Instagram. I have my bartender life coach Instagram. But I don't use that brand that much because we did this show instead. So
what you need to do is just change it to like the way you drink. That way your followers stay there. No, I am so bad with social media. I will tell y'all in case I haven't mentioned it before. If it wasn't for Tim with his simple, easy marketing and the way he does things and being able to do this, I would not have this podcast. He did tell me when we were first talking about doing a podcast because he knew this is what I wanted to do. I said, I can't do it alone because I'm not technical. I can video on Zoom and then I could post it, but do I have the time or energy? I said, no. And he's all, well, that's part of what Tim does.
That's all, yeah.
Simple, easy marketing is.
For me, it was easy.
Yeah, for him, it's like, oh, I can do that.
So,
and I'm like, oh.
So speaking of simple, easy, all right, I will announce it on this show because of the fact that, and we'll talk about our businesses as we always do, is we created a whole other vision of a whole other division of our company. because I've spent 10 years as a business coach. And this really one thing bothered me. People cannot get a website up. A simple website that's real estate that tells the world, this is who I am, this is where I'm at, this is how you get a hold of me. So we created we created a whole new company, simpleeasywebsites.com. We are in the process of
easywebsites.com, y'all. If you need a website, guess what?
We're gonna take over Gladys's website and do it for her. So you wait and see.
And I've heard my website's not bad, but guess what? Tim can make it better.
Yeah.
Because that's what Tim does. He looks at things and he says, hey, XYZ. That is what he does. That is his jam. Me, health insurance, employee benefits, that's my jam.
And if you were doing and if you were doing health insurance and benefits in Texas, I would be hiring you in a heartbeat.
Craig keeps bugging me and he's all, you need to do it in Texas. And I'm like, huh. And now
I don't want you to do it in Texas. I want you to move to Texas.
Been there, done that, but it wasn't.
You were on the other side. You were on the weird side of Texas. No, you were in the Dallas side of Texas.
I was. I will say, yes, I was on the weird side of Texas, the redheaded stepchild of Texas. If you haven't heard it before, you'll know where it is. But I love the Dallas area, the Fort Worth area. My first rodeo was in Fort Worth, and I was like, oh my goodness, and I've done rodeos since then, but Fort Worth will always be in my heart as my first rodeo. And I have been a Dallas Cowboy fan since I was like 5 years old. So it's not like I'm not attached to Texas. And I still say, I know the difference between all y'all and all y'all.
Yeah.
So there is a difference. I learned that. I've been saying y'all since before I moved to Texas. I was there for 4 years. I keep saying no, and one of these days I might wind up back in Texas. And right now, Texas and Arizona keeps calling me to say, do the things. But you know what?
Oh, when you retire, I'm getting you and Sean to move here. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, give me another 10 years.
Yeah. When you and Sean retire, you're going to come live by me.
We will have way too much fun.
I know. But okay, this made me think about this earlier today. All right, we've enjoyed drinks. We're episode 55. We've enjoyed drinks and enjoyed doing this for over a year now. And this is a podcast that we love doing. All right, and if we made no money doing it, we'd still do it. Why? Because we have so much freaking fun doing this podcast. But I want to start setting things because there's certain things we would like to see to make this thing grow. Is number one, YouTube. When we get our YouTube, when we reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we are hosting a party. All right. The party will be either in Texas or Oregon. Maybe both. We may do one in each for our YouTube subscribers, but we have to reach 1,000 subscribers before we'll do the party. All right. And we're talking, you will have to pay for your flight in. Other than that, the party is all on us. So
it'll be fun.
Tell your friends
because we know
YouTube to
we
get
both know how to host.
Yes, we both are good hosts. We have both hosted a party or two.
Just a few. And we will have the best drinks in the house.
We'll have a copy of our drinks. We'll have some of our favorite bands. I'll bring a band in.
Oh, I know people.
Yeah.
I know people. I know people who know people, and some of them are in bands. You know.
Oh yeah. I don't have the power over, like the bands I used to have power over was the fact because some of the bandmates were like rented my rentals.
Got it.
I don't have that anymore.
If we got to go to LA, we can go to LA. I still have tons of friends in LA, bands that I know in LA.
You know, wait a minute. We both have a friend in LA.
Yes, I was going to say.
We could pull into either state and he'd do it for us. I was
going to ask if your buddy friend Craig's son.
Yeah. I was going to think, I would think that we would get Ryan's band in easy.
Yeah, he is amazing. Even though he's grunge, there's so many songs that I'm like, oh my goodness, his ballads. It's just a lot of beauty in their music.
Yeah.
We do love him. He's awesome, and plus he's our mastermind's person.
Mastermind's son. So
Yeah.
So, all right, now Tealing, I mean, I wouldn't have found this if it wasn't for you. All right, I'm curious, how long is this bottle going to last on your shelf? This is a for the members of our the people who follow our podcast. This is something important. When you buy a bottle of something, how long does it last on your shelf?
So it depends. I do have bottles that some of them, because they're very rare or they're very. I have a bottle of another one that you can only get duty free, and it's been discontinued. That's larger than this. It is not halfway through because I know I can't get it again.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's a very rare. Will I touch that one?
That's a specialty. That's not we can both go buy this. That's what I'm saying.
So this one, I like it. This, if I had to choose between, Glenlivet 12 is my go-to.
Yeah, that's
like easy. I don't have to think about it. Glenlivet 12, that's my go-to when I'm at a bar. If I'm at home, my Glenlivet 14, my Glenlivet 18, my Glenfiddich 14, 16, or 18. That's my single malt scotch.
Yeah.
This one, I will drink. This is an easy, for me, a fun, easy drinking. Because I'm going to be on vacation for 2.5 weeks. It might be gone by the end of April.
Okay.
Because
I want you to think about. Let's compare this to. Everybody thinks Irish whiskey. What is the first? When everybody says Irish whiskey, what's the first one they think of?
Besides Slane and Tiramisu.
No, Slane and Sloan, you and I would get. All right. No. I'm talking the average person. What are they going to think of with Irish whiskey? We had it on the show once, but we've not had it back.
Jameson?
Yeah. How long would a bottle of Jameson last on your shelf?
Few years.
Yeah, because I'm not going to drink it. It's not a.
Like I said, I'm not a big Irish whiskey drinker, but this one is like.
No. When you get something in a category that you like, it doesn't last 3 months, and which it shouldn't, right?
No, it's
Jameson's. I'll bet you I could find a bottle of Jameson's on my bar from last year. Let's face it, I'm not picking on Jameson's. I'm just saying Jack Daniels. All right, you buy a bottle of Jack Daniels. It could be there until friends come over, right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, here you go.
Yeah, here you go. It's Jack Daniels. But here in Texas, all right, we get Garrison Brothers or we get Iron Wolf or TX. You know what I mean? Even Woodford Reserve. That won't last a freaking month and a half on my shelf. Why? Because everybody's going to drink something that stands out.
Yeah.
That, all right, you and I started over whiskey. All right, that is why we started this podcast, because of the fact that we love taste, not what's advertised. Taste, right? You froze up.
It's advertised. We're like, well, yeah. So Jameson, it's
non-advertised whiskey love us.
I do have a Jim Beam coffee up there. I do have Jameson right over there that's being donated for a bar. But when I'm drinking what I want something that I wanted. That if I'm sitting home alone and I just want something, you know what? I want something yummy. Yes, I will pull Tilling. And if I didn't like Tilling, I'd tell you, I don't like it. Yeah. I mean, there's been times that
I don't think it's going to last the summer here.
Yeah, no. This will get drank because it has a little bit of a bite, but it is flavorful. And I love flavor. And I love my brown whiskey. So Tilling, y'all did good. Yep. And if I'm ever in Ireland, guess what? I'm going to be paying a visit. And hopefully I win the sweepstakes because I've already entered again. Check them out on Facebook. I think there's like 2 or 3 times. Just click in there. Tilling Whiskey. They are doing a sweepstakes through April 1st. So make sure you get your entry in before then, because make sure you let us know if you win that sweepstakes, because we want to know.
Yeah, we do. No.
And if I win the sweepstakes, I'll let y'all know, and I'll take pictures and I'll share, because that's one I'm not sure. But I will bring back a bottle or two that our subscribers will be able to get from me. So I'm just saying.
Oh.
I know. But this has been just really, when I tasted it at Shamrock,
Yeah.
I was wow, this is good. And I tasted their other, which I can't remember what it was, but I know that I liked the single grain.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I was talking with you on the phone. I called you on the phone today to make sure I got the same one, and you said it was a single grain. So, yeah.
Mm.
So I just want to know if you're in our listeners and you go out and buy Teeling, you go out and buy the Teeling this week. We want to know. I want you to put in the comments that you bought the Teeling this week, and I really want to hear your opinions. And my question to be is for the Teeling is how long do you think this will last on your show? Meaning, all right, are you going to drink it? You know, are you going to drink it down? You know what I mean, in a consistently short period of time, or is this something you're going to taste to go? You know what? It's on the back of the shelf. We got it there when we want it. All right. This
Price
is not.
point.
That's why we when I take this.
$50.
Huh?
About $50 in price point.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a cheap whiskey. All right, like a Jack Daniels would be around, around 22 to 27.
But the taste of it, that's the thing, is when you are paying a little bit more, it is so worth it. And for an Irish whiskey, oh my goodness, I won't tell you how much I paid for that particular Irish whiskey that is very specific. Yeah, it was very pricey. I'm very particular. And I was okay with paying the price on this one, because I'm like, you know what? I tasted it. I liked it. And tasting it today, I was very pleased. I am okay with the price point. I mean, this is close to what I would normally pay. I do pay more for my Scotch, but price point, I really like it to Tilling Whiskey. Definitely a thumbs up on my end, and definitely a thumbs up on Tim's end. Look for it. If you can't find it, let us know. We will make it happen for you.
Okay. I'm looking over their website right now.
Okay. Have you looked at their Facebook page? Follow them on Facebook. They have recipes on Facebook. They have a lot on Facebook. It had taken me a while, and I apologize to Jeremy that I had not reached out to him sooner, to giving him a heads up that we were going to be promoting Tilling today.
Yeah.
So hopefully he was able to get on and check us out. If not, hopefully over the next few days he'll know
Hopefully
that
he catches the replay. Yeah.
So Jeremy from Bacardi, we appreciate you. Thank you for letting me know, or those of us in Oregon know, that there are Oregon Roots master distiller.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a little bit of Oregon in what I bring forth, and it's not because it's Oregon that I like it. It's just good tasting whiskey.
Well, no, I've always said, so like while I was at Goody Goody today, one of the things that I love is Tim Smith's Climax Moonshine. And it is becoming harder and harder to find it down here in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's just that my regular place doesn't carry it anymore.
What?
Yeah. But when people ask me, why do you like it? I says, it's made in Virginia. What does Virginia have that Texas doesn't?
Maple?
Clear, crisp water.
Oh, the water.
Oregon has clear, crisp water.
As does the Colorado, in a specific area of Colorado up in the Rockies.
Yeah.
They also have clear, crisp water.
Yeah. No. I don't care what your drink is. Water makes a difference. What kind of water goes into it? Here in Texas, they've got to distill and they've got to cleanse the water before they make it. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know what I mean? And I personally remember water means a lot. I remember 20 some odd years ago, going to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and getting the jug to fill up with Hot Springs water to bring home. Oh my God, did that make good coffee? Imagine the whiskey it would make.
Oh, we gotta start a distillery in.
Hot Springs, Arkansas does have a distillery, and it is for moonshine, and they make their moonshine with sorghum instead of corn.
Oh, okay.
When you're there, it's all right. By the time you get home, the
so
flavors
much.
the flavors are good, but the plain moonshine has not got the flavor to it. The flavored moonshines are great. They have a lot of interesting flavored moonshines.
And there's a lot more flavored moonshines now than there were years ago.
But that's what everybody loves, is the flavored moonshine. Wait a minute. Truthfully, you and I are whiskey people. How many people in our network would say, I mean, yeah, I'd love some good black cherry whiskey. You and I would be like, yeah, that's gross. I'll just take the regular whiskey, right?
Right.
That's because you and I, our taste palette is for the whiskey itself.
Mm-hmm.
When you get a good whiskey that adds the black cherry to it, you and I are in heaven and falling over in orgasms. But
story on that.
True, yeah. But the cheap ones that have to actually add the flavor to it,
right?
It dies down the taste, and you know that. That's why we do this. That's again back to the whole purpose of how long is a bottle of Jameson's going to last on your bar, and how long is a bottle of Teeling going to last on your bar.
Right. This will be gone before the Jameson that has not been opened, and it's a small bottle of Jameson.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's going into donation.
Yeah. And well, it's the same way with moonshines and me. All right. I can tell you there's a million moonshines that I've gotten that are not the same. I keep American Born on my, you know what I mean, on my bar. But if I had Tim Smith's, I'd have it on my bar. I'm out. Tim Smith's is a great triple grain. American Born is mainly corn.
Okay.
Corn makes a great whiskey, but when you add in a good moonshine with a corn, malted barley, all right, and rye, you put the three of them together. Oh my God, does that make a good whiskey? And better than that, that's a good American whiskey, but making a good American like aged whiskey.
Oh,
yeah, it's heaven.
So make sure you go to our YouTube channel. We want to get to 1,000.
Yeah.
I
know. I got to pull up the link real quick while we do that real quick. Let me pull my YouTube link up for.
Yeah, make sure you like our YouTube channel. I know a lot of you are liking our Facebook, and we love you for it. Thank you so much. There we go. Big hearts to you. But make sure you also like our YouTube channel. That is going to get us to the next level, and that's what we're trying to get to. Just know that when that gin and that whiskey comes out with our label on it, you will be the first to know. So make sure you go to YouTube and then look up at Like the Way You Drink, and you will find us there.
Or Like the Way You Drink, both on YouTube and on Facebook. So go find it, all right, and subscribe. So those people who subscribe, they'll be able to get the first things onto us. And I don't know. We'll have to make tiers or something along the way with a couple glasses and stuff like that. But.
Oh, there's a lot of things we're planning on doing. We're working on it right now. So just stay in touch with us, because it's as we continue to grow, we will continue to do different things. And right now it's just the fun part of it. Oh, it's going to get even better. So we appreciate you all for being here each week. We appreciate all the support, and know that this is being brought to you by my co-host, Tim. What do you do and who do you serve?
Marketing Simple Easy. Go to Simple Easy website. So right now I'm talking about simpleeasywebsites.com. All right, go check it out, as well as check out our Facebook. Everything Simple Easy websites. We're about making that website for content, branding, and automation to get you up and running.
Yep, you need a new website. Guess what? He will look at it and make it better.
That's right. How about you?
I am Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. I'd help employers with their employee benefits. If you want to attract and retain quality staff, guess what? Reach out to me. I will give you 101 different ways you can do that. Doesn't matter what state you're in. I will connect you with the right broker. If I can't help you, guess what? I know somebody who will. And you can go to insurancedesignpros.com and check me out. We'll see you soon.
All right, guys, it's been a fun week. All right, go support your local Teeling. Teeling. Thank you guys for helping us make our show this great this week. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.